would be for me to walk over here.
Am I just not giving it enough juice?
Your float levels are super low too.
The float levels do look low, don't they?
Super low. Will it fire off the spray?
I have not tried that yet. Yeah, does he have crap fuel in it?
Yeah. I mean, you're smart.
Yes.
You should have more than enough fuel.
I'm gonna bet we had more water than fuel in our fuel. Drain the fuel system. God, it's not one thing, it's another, man. So by the way, everybody, fuel cells that have the top cap, if you leave them outside, they will take water into the tank, and then you have water in your fuel system. So I'm going to drain both bowls. I'm going to drain the bottom of the fuel tank and the fuel lines, and then we'll probably have some quality fuel. Yep, she's got water in it.
Pull one of the bolts out?
Yep. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink.
I'm going to move out of the way.
What do you want to do that for? That's water. Is this an E85 truck, or is this gas?
It's just gas.
Well, that's not gas.
Smell like corn?
No, it smells like, well, it does smell like corn.
That is the 85.
Which is extra water absorbent.
Hydroscopic, if you were to use the professional term.
Hey, grab my leg. Thank you. Better than it was. There's probably still a bunch of water in the tires though. Still ain't got no gas in it. Drain the fuel system out.
Their flow levels still aren't coming up at all. They're below the bottom of the glass.
Now it needs a power valve. Yeah, float levels definitely need changed.
Didn't fire a rod out, so that's good.
Yeah. Just float levels. It's weird that then when he dropped it off, what'd you do, Richard?
I never heard it run. Again, you're only at 2 psi.
That's what we're showing 2 psi.
Sounds good. Still in gear there, youngin'.
So I was thinking about it last night. The fluid that was coming out of this smelled like ethanol, but it didn't make my hand cold like ethanol or fuel does when it's on your hand and it starts to evaporate. So I think we have more water than fuel in the fuel system. We're going to drain the entire fuel system, flush the carb, put some fresh fuel in it, and then it should run. It's definitely E85. There's the fuel. I think all the rainwater settled to the bottom of the tank. There's a sump at the back. I'll pop it loose and make sure we don't have any more water sitting in there. Just let that drain while I'm working on other stuff today. It's like dealing with a swamped jet ski. If you can see it, but there's definitely more fuel than water now. See all the droplets of water that stand out in the fuel. Alright, so right now the fuel dripping out of the back of the tank is coming out completely clean without any water in it. So I'm going to use that fuel now to flush through the carburetor again, hopefully until I don't see any more water. And then we'll see if it'll run. That's looking pretty clean. That. Now I shut it off and let it drain out, and then I started again because when the next batch of fuel comes in, it'll kick a bunch of water up off the bottom of the bowls. Yeah, I was thinking about this on my drive home last night, and I'm like, man, it's got to just be like so much water in there that it's just not going to run. And at the end of the day yesterday, we were watching it come out, and I was like, well, it's either all water or it's all fuel. And now watching the fuel run down, the fuel has a completely different viscosity than the water, where the water would bead and roll down with fluid tension, where the fuel lays down and puts a sheet. So that's an interesting thing to know. I didn't know that before. Always learning something new. Actually got fuel now.
You did a thing.
Did a thing. Need to tweak my float levels a little bit. My back one's a little too high, my front one's a little too low. Get it there. Not bad for preliminary numbers. 7 degrees of caster. -1.1, -1.3. I've got a bunch of toe out. I may have to trim our rod ends to get our toe in where it needs to be. But not a bad setup right off the rip, especially for a fresh build. I can take my inners in more. So I'm out of adjustment. I'm still towed out a hair. So when I drop my bump steers down, I'll turn a few turns in on my inner rod ends, which will give me a little movement on my adjustability. Like right now, we're really close. My readings are a little wonky and they're changing around. One, because I don't have any brakes, so my wheels are moving around. That's giving me erroneous caster readings. I highly doubt we have 7 degrees of caster in this thing already. More than likely the wheels rotated during the sweep because I don't have the brakes solved yet. But the part did come in today, so I get to put that on in the morning. I'm just trying to get an idea what I have to do on this tomorrow, because I have another alignment to do in the morning on something that I don't know what it is yet. But that's okay. With my frame, let's see what this does on lift. Oh, I don't have any air. Let me go turn on the air, and then we'll see what this does on lift. Lift, we towed in 3 degrees. Well, that's good. I want it to be less. So we're going to make some adjustments to that, which I need my big old wrench for. I'm probably going to be going up with that. No, down. I don't know. I think down. I think I need to go down on that one. Alright, so I moved my shims the wrong way. Now I have 4.5 degrees. So I'm going to take all of my shim out, and it will be what it is. Right here. Whoa. Always got to have my dose of gravity. Check our center link for center. Light at? Where did my light go? toe at pretty close. We can take it out. And again, this is just a preliminary setup until I get my brakes working. But at least it will work now. I have my rod ends at the right lengths. Those are even. We're looking pretty good. Let's lift her up and see what she toes in on lift. It's down to, it's pretty high. I mean, that's pretty impressive. But it's still towing in a lot. Like at that height, 6 degrees. So, how do we resolve that? Because this needs to continue to go up. I'll have to think about that one. I'll come up with a solution. I like my camber. Yeah, it still needs to come up a lot. I may have to go to a through bolt instead of the tapered setup so that I can get more height, but I think I'm going to still end up being higher, and then I'm going to have to notch the frame for that. So we'll play with it a little more tomorrow. I'm going to go home. I need to get some rest. It's been a long day. So it turns out I made a boo-boo. This is a disc drum brake master cylinder, and it needs to have a disc brake master cylinder on it. This is also a disc drum brake proportioning valve. So my solution for this, yes, I make mistakes too. We all make mistakes, we're human. My fix for this is a disc master cylinder. And you can see the reservoirs are the same size on a disc, where this one's small, that one's larger. The lines are probably going to change. The lines are going to change and the proportion valve is going to change. I'm going to go to a dead-headed front and a proportion valve rear, which should solve that braking problem. You guys leaking. I must have failed at my flaring technique. Different. They are opposite. So new lines are in order from there, which isn't a big deal. Ooh, nice. That should be fun. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. So my baseline, I set this thing up a couple days ago with a baseline, but I didn't have any brakes. So I wasn't able to make sure I had an accurate caster reading, and so now that I've got front brakes, I don't have rear brakes yet. I'm fighting with rear brakes bleeding out, but I decided to check my alignment, and I'm 7 degrees of caster. This thing's going to be so stable running down the road. It's going to be unbelievable, and steering wheel return should be excellent. Not much I can do in the back end on this. I'm going to set the cowl tracks to zero slack plus a quarter turn with body weight in the car. And the really the next step for me on this thing is once I get the brakes bled, I've got to put an O2 bung in the exhaust, and this thing is off and back in Randy's hands, and he can go do what he pleases with it. So long time coming. This thing gave us a lot of headaches. They came in for a couple simple things. It turned into a whole lot more. But sometimes that's what happens. You see stuff and you want it to be right. The customer wants it to be right, so you do it and you get it done. So yeah, I need to tweak the camber just a hair more, and then this thing will be ready to rock and roll. It's a good looking truck, man. It's my color. Steering wheel centered, I'm happy with that. Caster 6.9, 6.9. My camera's within 4/10 of a degree, so I'm going to change that a little bit. I'll take a little camber out of that side. It doesn't need to have that much, because it's going to go, I could actually stand those out quite a bit, because as this lifts, it goes out. I think my bump steer is good. Set that the other day. Lift. Toe in just under 2 degrees, and I'm all the way up. So the only way for me to make that better is to possibly modify the pitman arm and idler arm so that they sit at a lower point. And I'm thinking about a way to do that. We might do that to this at a later date, but I'm real happy with that. 2 degrees toe in on lift is excellent. I can get it closer than that, but that'll take some major modifications. I'm real happy with that. So now I'm at positive 1.8, positive 1.7, so my camera's actually evened out on lift, which is interesting. Normally they would be off the same amount as when it's sitting static. So when it's up in the air, my cameras look great. So I think I may just leave my cameras alone, because this is where it's going to be running most of the time, except for when it's broken, because race cars break. That happens. No, I think I'm good with it. I like it. Pretty good travel. Really good travel. Let's lock it down. I like it. Lock her down. Now I'll move on to some more brake bleeding, because that's always fun. Down.
Down.
Nice. Brakes.
Food's up there. Somebody, some DoorDash girl brought us food.
My woman brought my food.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's how we're gonna end it. The project is done. Randy has his little blue S10 back, and he is ready to go have some fun with it. it's always pretty fun to be able to help somebody else finalize or get a project that close to being done. And we got that one a long way. He's still got some things he needs to do. There's some carb tuning to do and a couple of other little bits and pieces to wrap up, but it is a drivable, enjoyable running car at this point in time. And Randy actually has a young daughter who's in the licensing phase of her life, who he's also going to have in that truck doing some racing and having some shenanigans, learning things and experiencing stuff on a family level, which is something we absolutely love. Anytime you can share this automotive hobby that we all love with somebody else that's in the younger generation and put that bug in them and give them that addiction, it's a good addiction in our world at least. It's a great thing. So we're very excited for Randy. We're excited to finish this project. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, seeing us do what we do. And there's plenty more to do, as you can tell. We're going to move on to the next project. So thanks for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. I've got everything shipped out as far as I know that I need to have shipped out as far as merchandise goes. So I should be good. I have updated the website as well to be able to reflect on-hand inventory, so I should be able to rapidly fill orders at this point in time until I run out, in which case it won't allow you to order it. So we should be square and everything should be up to date at this point in time. Again, I do apologize. It's been a nightmare. Learning this whole thing has been a whole lot more than I expected it to be, but we really very much appreciate all the support that you guys have shown in buying merchandise, because your buying things from us is going to be able to help us to be able to afford building more crazy stupid stuff that we normally would just be wasting our own money on, but it's helping us to be able to afford things. As always, I will also mention the I Support Bad Decisions shirt, which is the featuring my 1979 AMX that's up yonder, is what's going to help build this 1979 AMX into a Hellcat powered pro touring crazy shouldn't exist but it totally needs to exist kind of thing. So on the website you'll see the I Support Bad Decisions shirt. That shirt, all of the profits that go from sales of that shirt will go into doing our insanely expensive Hellcat swap build on that car. So thanks for all that stuff. We really appreciate you guys. You've been amazing. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.